Are you considering building a home in the city of Montgomery? You've come to the right place. Hey guys, Mike Hines here from Build Collective. If you don't know much about us, we are the new construction experts focusing in on infill areas here in Cincinnati. So we focus on Montgomery, Madeira, High Park, Indian Hill. What we do is we specialize in finding infill sites to build new homes for builders, buyers like yourselves, or anybody in between really that's just out there, maybe a seller trying to sell their house. And what we're trying to do today is just give you a little bit of information on what to look for when you're actually considering building a house in the city of Montgomery. Most people, when they start off their search, they designate maybe an area, 2-3 areas at most. It may be Montgomery and Blue Ash, Montgomery and Madeira, just depending on what you're looking at. And each area is so different that you really need to have a different playbook for each and understanding the the ins and the outs of each one. So I'm here to give you just 5 little categories to kind of keep an eye on as you go through the process. Key is to be short and sweet, just some quick snackable content that you can digest and go from there and be better suited when you go out driving the communities. So first off, City of Montgomery, what is the budget and what price points are there for new homes in Montgomery? When you drive around, I'm sure you're looking at listings anywhere from the $700,000 mark all the way up to $1.1 million, $1.2 million. Now, Montgomery houses can be a little bit less expensive than that, and quite a bit more. We've sold houses for $1.5 million, $1.6 million in this area, but the biggest bulk of the homes that are built over there or in the city of Montgomery are between $800,000 and $1 million. Occasionally we've sold some that are in the $750,000 to $800,000 range recently, but most homes nowadays are pretty much starting at that $800,000 price point. You might ask why that happens. It's mainly driven because of the lot cost and the increase in cost for construction. So lots now range anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. There's always an exception to every rule. For instance, Ross, Campus, Todd, those lots may be $350,000 to $500,000 depending on what you're looking at. So as you're looking at different properties, know that whatever the lot cost is typically sets the tone for the expense of your house. You're probably not going to buy a lot that's $400,000 and build a house that's $400,000 and beyond a package of $800,000. You're most likely going to be at the very least 1/3 of the cost of your house is going to be your lot cost, and typically it's closer to about 1/4, about 25% to 28% is where that's kind of fallen into play there. So price points, something key for you to know. We get buyers all the time that have higher budgets and lower budgets, and that's the one thing we want to let you know that, hey, don't be discouraged by not finding lots or homes in lower price points in there. It's just the fact of the matter with lots costing the way they are and what construction is rising as far as inflation and increased cost. That's just where things are lining up. Second off, zoning and lot width in the city of Montgomery. Now, when you look at the majority of lots in Montgomery, they range from 80 feet wide to about 110 feet wide. Most are around 90 or 100 feet. And what that means is, depending on your different zoning classification, you're going to be limited on the building pad and building envelope of what you can build. So can you fit that side entry garage? Well, on a 100 to 110 foot wide lot, most likely the answer is yes. Of course, ranches get a little more expansive, but when you're looking at lots in Montgomery, majority of homes you're seeing are side entry car garages because they're 100 to 110 feet wide. With 15-foot side yard setbacks, that can limit the building pad a little bit, but you still have room. Now, when you get closer to downtown Montgomery, that does limit it a bit. You may have 80 feet. When you have 80 feet, that's when you typically see the front entry 2-car garage. So something to keep in mind as far as when you're looking at their lots, if you absolutely must have a side entry car garage, there's certain streets you must look at because most streets have pretty much conforming lot sizes from one to the next lot. Then maybe you jump over from, let's give you an example of you jump from Joe Lane over to Mitchell Farm. Well, Mitchell Farm, the lots they decrease a little bit. Joe Lane's closer to 100, maybe 110 foot wide on certain circumstances, and then you jump over to Mitchell Farm and maybe 80 foot. So understanding the zoning classifications and also the lot width and your side setbacks is really, really key depending on the caliber of home you want to build and the style of home you want to build. So all fits in there, things we can help with as you go through that. Third category is the pockets of Montgomery. And what I mean by this is the different areas in Montgomery. We have clients that come to us and say, hey, I love to live in Montgomery. I want to build a house at $850,000. What kind of options can I look at? Well, we try to designate it into a couple different areas. Of course, there's the downtown Montgomery area. There's Jones Farm, which is over off of Hopewell in Montgomery. Then there's over off Deerfield areas back there. There's a few others as well because Montgomery's a very large area. But when you look at the pockets of Montgomery, that really defines exactly what the lot cost is going to be, what style of home, what caliber of house can you build and be safe in the market of comps. For instance, on market, there's houses that have sold well over $1 million, in excess over $1 million. So you know that if you're going to build something comparably, and that's where your budget, because of the size of house you want to build, that's a very safe spot to do it. If you look at other streets that are maybe over off of Deerfield Road, houses are ranging between $800,000 and $1 million. So there's certain decisions you will like to make based on where you are and what you're actually looking at over there. So when we sit down with somebody, the first thing we discuss is where would they like to be with their budget, and then we talk about the house they want to build, and then secondarily we talk about what part of Montgomery is really their favorite. Of course, a lot of people say, hey, I would love to be on Ross, Campus, Todd. That, unfortunately, it's a very competitive market, and those are quite expensive when it comes to houses. So just something, when you think through that a little bit as you're driving around, and just write down street names, write down areas and things you love about it, because that'll help you drive the direction of your search. It'll be really important. Next up, we have the builders. So as you're driving through, you're probably seeing 5 or 10 different builders that keep popping up on sign. I mean, the names that you're seeing are probably pretty consistent. Occasionally there's somebody new that pops in there, but you're probably seeing Classic Living Homes. You're seeing Ashford Homes, Scroggins Homes, Constructing Up. You're seeing Copper Creek. You're seeing those names that keep recurring. Zika. As you're driving by, you're seeing those names. Most builders come to an area and they want to invest in an area that's known, that's proven, it's beautiful, that has a lot to go off. We have one builder, Bernie Curlman of Classic Living Homes, and he likes to say, hey, he looks at every lot he looks at, he says, hey, would I want to live here? And that's how his justification of buying a lot. Of course, there's plenty of other details you have to figure out, but just a really key one there. So as you're looking at builders, they each have their different competitive advantage and things they're good at and maybe not so great at. So as you look at them, make sure you're asking the right questions. Make sure you're asking them, telling them what's important to you, because that's really going to be something that's going to resonate with the way they build and their philosophy, or it may not. And it's all about fit. It's like a relationship. You're into a relationship with a builder for a year, maybe longer than that. So it's absolutely imperative that you find somebody that you really trust and quite frankly, you like, because that's a big, pretty important piece to this whole thing. So last thing I want to talk to you about is timing. Within the city of Montgomery, there's a couple different things, a couple different pieces that play a part. It's obviously the search. So it may take you 3 days to find the right lot. It may take you a year to find the right property or tear down or whatever it is over there. But as you're going through the process, once you find the right property, assuming that a house hasn't been designed and basically designed specifically for you, you're probably looking at a 1 to 3 month time frame just for the design. And then you have to go to the city of Montgomery, which actually subs out their inspections, and that process could take you another 2 to 3 weeks. So just going through designing with an architect, permitting phase, all of that takes time. So just make sure you understand exactly how that is in that portion of the process. Also keep in mind, Montgomery does a great job at taking care of everything they have over here. So they're auditing people's job sites. They're driving up and down the streets. They do a fantastic job to keep this community so great. But that can also slow down a builder from time to time because they want to make sure they're compliant and they're taking good care of their job sites. Again, not a negative by any means. In fact, it's an overwhelming positive, but just something to know. Then there's physically building your house from start to finish. Some builders take 7 months and some builders take 12 months. That can be based on the size of house, or it can be based on the process the builder follows on that front. So overall, we like to quote people, it'll take from start to finish, the moment you decide on a lot to the moment you move into your house, 12 months is a pretty good benchmark. Can it happen shorter than that? Of course. It could happen in 8 or 9 months if plans are already decided on. It can happen in 10, 11 months if you have to work through some details. But if you're designing from scratch, 12 months is a great place to start. And truthfully, Montgomery's great for custom homes that are designed specifically for you at heart. These lots have so many opportunities to design something special for you. It's really something that, try not to just take a stock floor plan and say, hey, build me this over there. Try to make it your own as best as possible, because chances are it won't cost you anymore and it'll fit your lifestyle that much better. With that said, we are here for you. So our company, Build Collective, as I mentioned, is built on the idea that we're here to help make new construction easier and more attainable. Obviously, budgets range depending on a different area, but if you're considering building a home, feel free to give us a call. If you see a lot that we have listed or somebody else does and you have some questions, shoot us a text. My phone number is 513-260-0424. You can call me, text me, email me anytime, and we can get you information. Even if you're not not one of our clients, just reach out to us and we can give you pretty good information between Bill, Bobby, Brandy on the resale side. Everybody in our company from a sales and a new construction or resale standpoint can help you. And the whole idea is to not have you do extra legwork or make a mistake potentially. We can give you answers probably pretty quickly. So with that said, I appreciate your time. Hopefully this was super helpful just to understand how the market is. Again, we'll have other resources along with this video on building in Montgomery, but we appreciate the time and happy hunting. Take care, guys. Thank you.